like if your competitor has, 500 pages all about, their roofing business, how all the product, all the, the how to do it, all the different types of shingles, they have 500 pages on their website or blog posts talking about roofing, and you have like 10 pages. I've always known in my mind, Google hands down values the competitor's website better. So kind of the secret sauce all these years has been just consistently putting more content on my website.
Step into the TradeMarke, your go-to podcast for everything marketing in the trades. Hosted by award-winning industry marketing experts Sarah Ghirardo from Remarkable and Eric Thomas from Rival Digital. Together, we're here to unite the worlds of trades and marketing, bringing you insights, stories, and strategies from the heart of the industry. Whether you're a trade professional, a marketing expert, or somewhere in between, this is the place for you. Listen in as we're here for the big ideas, the game changers, and the everyday successes. Because at the TradeMarke, we're with the trades and for the trades.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I know Sarah is actually in Texas right now. Texas.
I am in Texas. Yes, I am at the Rocket X conference, and yeah, it's fun. A lot of fun. And Dave is in Arizona, right?
Arizona, yeah. Turning up the heat. Yep. The oven's preheating right now here. So
that's awesome. Absolutely. So Dave, we like to start off the podcast with, what is your favorite quote?
Ooh, that's a really good one. What is my favorite quote? Man, if you don't, I have a few favorite quotes. Well, like this one is, I don't like to be cheap on my way to success. Right? Like if I really want success, I don't want to be cheap about it. I don't want to, try to nickel and dime people. I want to pay people what they're worth, surround myself with people who are valuable and, pay them their valuable wages. So just, if you're trying to get super successful, you can't be cheap on your way to success. It's going to cost you it's not always monetary, but it's going to cost you some time too, right? So put some time into it and don't be cheap.
Yeah, that's an awesome quote. I think we've always said in every podcast, time is money. Literally, it's been a theme this year.
Yeah. So it's more than that, because you can't get it back. You can get money back, but you can't get your time back, right?
You're right. And you're always just buying time or looking to never buy time. I don't even know how to explain it, but yeah, time and space.
My second favorite quote
we're super
is
excited to have you. Oh,
sorry, I interrupted you, but my second favorite quote is who, not how, right? Why spend the time learning something when you can find somebody who knows how to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great quote. Who, not how. Yeah. All right. Well, Dave, tell us a little bit about you and what's going on in the digital world and all the good stuff.
Yeah. So first of all, I know you mentioned SEO a second ago, Eric, and most people are like SEO, but you want to cover your ears and just go running. Right. Like, yeah. I mean, that's how people feel because they've been duped. They've paid for, marketing companies that haven't performed. But if you can wrap your brain around SEO, then it's a really easy and a simple process. So that being said, Dave Kaminski, I've owned my own business since 1999. I own the largest window cleaning company in Arizona and Colorado. And I built it 100% with SEO. I never paid money for advertising. And don't do that. That's a terrible way to grow a business. But I actually figured out how to do it. That's what my passion was. And I'm like, man, if I could figure out how to get up on the Google search engines and I don't have to pay marketing companies, then, I'll be, it actually worked. It's pretty cool. I don't run those businesses anymore. I still own them. So I've got some really good members around me and they're fantastic. But I thought, with my knowledge, why shouldn't I just go share this with other business owners? Because as a owner, you should spend your time running your business and doing what you're really good at. I spent years trying to figure out the methods and stuff that I have for my knowledge. So go run your business and, let a marketing expert figure out the marketing part for you. So that's kind of why I transitioned out of those businesses and started my marketing business.
Nice.
That's awesome. And so what was the secret sauce? Like, you didn't pay for Google, but everyone is now paying for Google.
Yeah.
And so, what did you do back then?
Yeah. So the secret sauce back then, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, backlinks were pretty important. and people were building like PBNs, private blog networks. I never really got into that. I was always pretty focused on the content side of it. And now everybody with Chat GPT coming out and just content like crazy. Now everybody's kind of figuring out what I kind of figured out many years ago is if I just kept putting consistent content onto my website, and if I talked about every aspect of my business, I figured like if your competitor has, 500 pages all about, their roofing business, how all the products, all the, the how to do it, all the different types of shingles, they have 500 pages on their website or blog posts talking about roofing, and you have like 10 pages. I've always known in my mind, Google hands down values the competitor's website better. So kind of the secret sauce all these years has been just consistently putting more content on my website.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's we were chatting with Jim Clark recently on the podcast, and he's real big into the podcast space, but he follows Marcus Sheridan's. They ask you to make framework where they create pieces of content around all the commonly asked questions that that homeowners may have, and I'm a huge fan of that for sure. Just like you were mentioning, like if that roofing company has a blog article for every comparison, asphalt shingles versus, I don't even know another type of shingle, but this type of shingle versus that type of shingle, which is better? Should you get a darker shingle or a lighter shingle? Which is better? And like you're asking, or people are asking these questions and you're creating content around every single topic. Well, then obviously, like you said, Google's going to see that website as more of the authority in that particular topic versus someone that has one blog article that says 5 reasons why you should get your roof inspected this spring, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And blog articles too, like people don't realize it. That's how you target search terms. So if you're going to do a blog, 5 reasons you should get your, roof inspected, people don't really search that search term. But like you said, people search the people ask questions. That's one of our strategies for sure, is getting all those people ask questions and get them on your website. Google, and Google loves that, eats it up.
Yeah. Do you, for you all, for those like people also ask type questions, do you all just use the ones that you see on Google as well? Or is there any other tools that you've heard of or have used in the past that work well for that type of that creation of that strategy?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's 2 different ways to figure out the questions that people ask. One is just go into Google and ask the question, right? And you'll see a box with a couple other questions. And if you click on them, more pop up. So I just start clicking on a whole bunch, and soon you'll get 50 questions, and that's great. And you can use a tool, semrush.com. That's one of my favorite SEO tools. And just type the search term in there, and then it'll list all the questions that people ask, like roofing company. If you want to search roofing company on there, Google will display all the search terms that are people's questions on that, and then categorize them from most asked to least asked. So you can sort them by search volume.
How does collaborating with like industry experts and stuff, how does that kind of help out with your company?
That's a good question. So the name of our business is Collaborate, or Collaborate Pro. But the reason it works is, like I was talking about a minute ago, 5 or 10 years ago, Google really valued backlinks. They kind of it was just backlinks, period. Well, now if you're going to link your website to something, it better be industry related, or it better have some authority. Now, the authority is like Chamber of Commerce or Better Business Bureau. I mean, even Yelp. Nobody likes to advertise with Yelp, right? I've never met anybody that says, hey, I love advertising with Yelp. But you want a business profile there because it makes your business legitimate. Now collaborating with other industries, that's kind of what a bit of our secret sauce is, we have a whole bunch of roofers. We have a whole bunch of dentists we work with. We have pressure washers. We have window cleaners. We even have wedding venues, like tons of people in the same industry, car detailers, stuff like that, right? Well, what happens when you connect one roofer to another roofer and it's congruent, it's the same industry? Google really loves that. So you're basically, showing another roofer love, and you're telling Google, I'm associating my roofing website with other roofers. So it brings up your authority.
How does that do that? Like, so you're linking roofers with other roofers? Is that what you said?
Yep.
So like a lead, like a lead aggregator, or like what does that look like?
Yeah. So you can do it in a couple different ways. Like you can find an inner page on your website or a blog post. Blog posting, a lot of times called guest posting. Like if I did a blog post on my roofing website, and let's say Eric had a roofing company, in my blog post, I talk about, an amazing roofer or commercial roofing company, something like that. I like to, when I do a link, I'll do his exact business. So it'd be like Eric's roofingcompany.com. And I'd put that link within the blog post or somewhere within my website. So now I'm just simply connecting my roofing website to another roofer's website.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good stuff. What are some, like, for the DIY savvy contractors out there, what are some ways that they can go about like that kind of outreach for, other roofers or other pressure washing companies?
That's a great question. I would not reach out to my competitor. Definitely not. But like, I'm in Phoenix, right? So if I owned a roofing company here, I'd call up a roofer in Dallas and Miami, Chicago, Los Angeles. Like, what do I care? They are not my competition, right? A lot of business owners think it's all competition, but really when you work together and you collaborate, you're going to get a lot more success. So you reach out to the other roofer and say, hey man, I'm putting some content on my site. Like, I love your website. I was looking at it. Seems pretty legit. Do you mind if I, put a link on my website to your website? And usually they're like, oh yeah, that's cool. And then you ask them, hey, since I'm doing you a favor, can you do it for me? Right.
Yeah.
Or like, you're at a trade show right now, right? So if you're at a trade show with similar people in your industry, we all make friends, we all hang out, we all network, right? So just start talking to other people. I speak at trade shows all the time, and I'm like, hey, raise your hand if you're in the roofing industry. I'm like, look around, guys. These guys are all your friends. You should all work together. So the outreach is huge. It is really big.
Yeah, most definitely. And like bringing out other companies that are similar, I guess, that have similar blog structures and great content. I guess I could see it going a couple of different ways, but it's an interesting strategy. As long as they're not your competition in the area.
So how about this? How about we all have marketing companies? We should all do the same thing, right? Most marketing companies are like, oh, that's my competition. Yeah. We're not competition. There is so much business out here for marketing.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's so much. And we do that, right? Like, so I host conferences myself, and I bring out other marketing companies, and sometimes they might be competitors or they think they are. And then at the end of the game, they're like, oh no, there's way more than enough for all of it. And when we're collaborating together, we're better together.
Yep.
Especially, and so that's what we've learned together. And honestly, it's just been a force. And at this conference that I'm at today, I had 4 different marketing agencies on stage, or 5. And we were, I selected them to go on stage with me because I was like, I just want to hear your brilliance. Like, what are you going to share? How are we going to teach? How are we going to come out? And I think you're right. That's what it's about. Yeah.
I love being at conferences, and I go find all the other marketing companies. And I always go talk to them. I'm like, hi, I'm Dave. How are you? I start talking, and a lot of times they're like, and we're like the same people. Like, we have the same, like, we're in the same industry, right? Let's have some fun together. So, some people are friendly, some people not so much, but I'd rather just be friends with everybody.
Yeah. Dave, I think you and I would hit it off at a trade show if we ever ran into each other. I'm the same way at those things. I'm like, I mean, when we were at that marketing for the trade summit, we were down on Bourbon Street. I was down there with my direct competition, and we were like buying each other drinks and taking pictures and just hanging out. And that's, I'm the same way. I'll walk up to the marketing companies and be like, we're in the same boat, man. Like, I feel your pain, brother.
Everybody wants leads.
Well, I think like if you each shared, 2 or 3 good nuggets with the other person, like that's awesome, man. Like it breaks my heart if you see a business fail. Like, man, it's hard to run a business, right? So if somebody came to me and like, hey, I got a couple secrets for you, I'd be like, really? That's so cool. So
yeah. And so what revenue size businesses do you work with in the roofing industry? I'm getting into roofing, so I'm kind of learning about it as I go. So whatever insights you have in that would be awesome to learn.
Yeah. I mean, roofing, it's you really don't want to work with a company that's just starting out. It's hard to get traction. If you're just doing SEO, if you're doing paid ads, there's paid ads that can, bring in leads. That's kind of a good way to go to get instant traffic and leads coming in for roofers. But if you're working for a roofing company that's semi-established, it's pretty easy. Like, it's really easy to target exact searches that you want a roofer to show up for. And we have a roofer that shows up for a roofer near me, roofing company near me, local roofer near me, residential roofer near me, commercial roofer near me. Like, you can legitimately get your website to show up for all these search terms if you know how to code your website properly. And it's not even that hard. Like, the first step is you do a blog post and you title it Roofing Company Near Me. Like, that's the title of your blog post, and it's not hard. And then within the content, you want to geotag an image within your city, right? And then within the blog post, you want to put a Google map that's within your city, or the Google map is of your Google business within your city. And then you want to link to stuff within your city. And then you want to link to, authorities, like somebody in the roofing industry. So when you do that, it's literally coding your website to tell Google, hey, I want to show up for roofing company near me. Like, this is my content. Because you're not ever going to show up for that search term if those exact words aren't even in your website. If you're a roofer starting out, like, don't get discouraged. You're in an industry that has millions of searches. Like, you literally are in a gold mine of an industry. Either you guys read the book 3 Feet from Gold?
No, but tell me about it.
Yeah, so like this prospector, he spent all of his fortune and bought all this gold mining equipment back in the gold rush. And I don't remember if he moved to Colorado or California or Alaska, one of the 3 states. And he got in the mountain and he dug and he dug and dug and dug and just finally, like, man, I give up. No gold. So he sold all of his equipment for pennies on the dollar. And the guy who bought his equipment went into his mine. Instead of digging this way, dug that way. He went 3 feet and struck it, like, just hit the biggest jackpot. So if you're a roofer, if you're in an industry that has a lot of searches, I always refer it to that. You're in a gold mine. You just don't know which direction you need to dig. These blog posts, like roofing company near me, like, that's a gold mine search term, but you need to know how to get your website to flow from it. Also, if you're running Google paid ads and you're trying to run an ad for, roofing company near me, but you don't have that content on your website's not congruent with the Google ads. Google's going to charge you a higher dollar cost per click on that ad. So if you have the content on your website, your cost per click comes down. So you really want your website to be congruent with your ads. I mean, even your
something that we've tested in the past that has helped a lot from the paid advertising side is using, like, blog articles that answer questions about the search query as site links, like a site link extension. We were testing that out a couple of years ago, and it worked well then. It hasn't been as well recently, but kind of like you were saying, we did notice a positive correlation in the performance of those ads when we were running the ad, obviously, to show up for AC repair near me, but within those site link extensions, we're showing, why is my AC not blowing cold air? What causes, an air conditioner to stop working? We were linking blog articles to it, and we had noticed a positive result in some of those paid advertisements.
Yeah. Same with your Google Maps. To show up for those terms. If you have that content on your website, it helps your maps to show up for it as well.
And so do you think that the near me searches are going to be relevant or in the new search experience that Google wants to put out?
Yeah, I do.
Or do you think it's going to change to like a TikTok video of someone near them with a roofing? Like I don't even know. Like, what does that look like?
I saw I think it was TikTok. I don't know where I saw it, but somebody named their restaurant Thai Food Near Me Restaurant. Like, that was the name of the restaurant. Literally, Thai Food Restaurant Near Me. You know why? Because they don't know anything about marketing, right? So,
or everything. They know everything about marketing. You don't know.
I know, right? You got to make some Thai food, but you sure don't know marketing. So just name your restaurant that. It was awesome. Yeah. But if you think about it, 10 years ago, people weren't searching near me. They were searching like their city, right? So they would search, like dentist and then the city they're in or whatever. Well, Google's really, and you guys know this, really have narrowed down. And it's good because if you're a business owner, you don't want a national company taking all of your business. If you're local, like, Google's done a really good job of that. So the searches have increased for near me. It's amazing. Like, in the dental industry, like, if you were to look for dental implants on a scale of 100, the keyword difficulty is like 100. But dental implants near me, the keyword difficulty is like a 40. So it whole lot show up for that search term than actual dental implants. So, and roofing is the same way too. Like some of these near me roofing search terms are not as difficult to show up for as like roofing. Like roofing is way too broad,
Right.
but it's like almost an impossible search term to show up for. And it's not really a transactional search term, but roofing near me is transactional. Somebody's really looking for somebody to go spend money.
Yeah. And do people buy a new roof? Like there's got to be lots of different intent, right? So if there's a storm and they have damage, so that's a keyword subset, right?
Yep.
And then if they want to be more efficient, so they're looking for efficiency in their roofing I'm guessing because I'm thinking about the search, right? What's the consumer like? What does the keyword like? What's the population? Where would you start? Are you chasing after the storm, or are you going after tax rebates and like incentives? Like where would you start in that area of roofing?
Yeah, where I would start is if you use semrush.com and you type in roofing or roofing near me or roofing company near me, and you can sort them by search volume. So search volume comes up first. However, I like the KD column, which stands for keyword difficulty. So I like to search by the keyword difficulty, and I go from the least difficult to the most difficult. So the least difficult are right on top, and the competition is like 0. Super easy to rank for these search terms. And if you scroll down, usually you'll find a search term that's got 100, 200. I found like search terms in the roofing industry that have like 1,200 searches a month, and the keyword difficulty is like a 3, which basically means you just need to do a blog post and put that content on your website. You're going to start showing up for it. So if you add 5, 10, 15, 20 of those search terms that have 100 to 1,000 searches, now all of a sudden you're attracting searches to your website, for 2,000 to 4,000 searches a month, and you're going to start getting some traction. You don't want to start roofing company near me at the very top. That's the hardest one. You want to start at the bottom and work your way up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. SEO is always something that I am learning, and the new SDE, I'm just like wrapping my head around it daily of like what is going on with Google. So I like to ask all these questions. I don't know.
Speaking
so
of,
tell me.
Yes. Speaking of which, with SGE and all that stuff, Dave, where do you see AI? I mean, I know that this is kind of like just a lot of it's kind of subjective to personal opinion until Google finally rolls SGE out, at large. But where do you find that AI is playing a role or going to be playing a role in content creation and even website development?
Yeah, so we've been using AI content for probably, at least 3 years, maybe longer. Started with Jarvis before it turned to Jasper, right?
Yeah.
It is awesome because when it came out, I bought an unlimited version. I'm like, yeah, baby, this is it, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to pay for articles on iWriter or wherever. Oh, man, I was like, jackpot. And I still have that unlimited version. And our team uses it a little bit for certain things. But, I think if you keep putting relevant content up there, and we use the AI plus a human, you don't just throw it all on there. You tweak it a little bit. But man, the AI writing has gotten so good, like so good. And I was just on a meeting yesterday and I was looking at some AI content and throw it on a LinkedIn blog post. It's ranking number 1 and it's all AI written. So, we all evolve. And if AI content is ranking and it's working and it's getting the Google search engines coming to your website, I'd keep doing it till it stops working. Because what if it never stops working and you're that far behind the ball, right? There'd be a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, a lot of the powers in the prompt too. Like,
oh yeah.
Making sure it omits, certain words like delve and unravel and I'm like always joking. I always just talk. I'm just like always walk around saying delve, like, oh, let's delve into this. Cause it's just like, when you see delve, I'm just like, yep, that's Jasper.
But also if you want AI to write you a content like roofer near me or dentist near me, it's going to start putting other businesses and companies into the content. And it just doesn't. So you have to, like you said, the prompt. I like to say first prompt I do is, can I have 10 very congruent articles on the roofing industry? And so then AI will give me 10 article types. And then I'll ask it for 5 blog posts for each topic. Split it down into 5 more. So now I've got 50 topics to write on. And that works extremely well. And then you just get a piece of content for each one of those sub-articles, and now you got 50 articles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then you're going to ask it to do social posts on those articles. Yeah. And it just keeps going. Like it's a never ending. Like, what else can I do? Right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I want some time to sleep and eat and see my family. Like, man, you just keep going down a rabbit hole. You can just keep on going.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah. It's like, work smarter, not harder is what I tell everybody. I'm like,
yeah, I've gone down a rabbit hole recently with AI around like creating WordPress plugins, like actually writing the code for it. And then I'll throw it into a code editor and, make the adjustments and the kind of the changes that I want, but it does all the heavy lifting up front. And I'm like, and honestly, like some of the code that it's putting out for these plugins, like it's good enough to like package it up and upload it to a WordPress install and use. It's kind of crazy.
Impressive.
It's really cool how it's definitely coming a long way in such a short time, which is really cool. And I guess kind of to delve into that topic a little more on the coding side, how about like even like building websites? Have you used AI much even there for like actually building websites or having it help with websites?
I tried a little bit of it, but I outsourced it. And I mean, what I got, I wasn't really that impressed with. But that was probably a year ago. So, I haven't really too much then. But yeah, no, I really haven't. How about you?
I tried one as well. I know Wix does it now too, though. I've seen that Wix is actually like pretty solid. They've got an AI website builder.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like but I think like I've tried more of the landing page thing because like, what do you need the most, right? Yes, you can build a website, but these brands today, I mean, think about like the e-commerce, like TikTok brands that you're seeing all of a sudden. Well, they're like, I just need a landing page. And then it funnels, right? You've got a marketing funnel going on. And so I don't know. I've been using like Durable, AI, and Gamma and just testing them out. Like I love to test AI products, right? Like talk about upper level geek with AI. That is me. I'm like, what new thing came out and what can I use it for? Test it. So
I get distracted by the AI images. Like my kid sit down here and we're like, actually I have one.
Yeah, like, okay, now put a dinosaur on top of it.
Yeah, like my son wanted to build his own treehouse.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like we went and printed a sticker. Like that was all AI.
That.
Like that looks cool, right? Like I get distracted by that stuff.
I get like it's pretty rough with the images because I'll be like, all right, like paint a picturesque Colorado scenery with a nice children's play set and slide. And I'd be like, all right, now put me on top of a dinosaur going down the slide with flames spitting out. It's just like,
you're like, you can't ask AI to do when they do pictures is they always spell wrong. Like where it says Micah's treehouse, like there was 2 I's in his name and treehouse was spelled with 1 E. It's like, you are so amazing, but you literally can't spell on an image. Like that's the one thing it always.
And you spell it for it. Yeah, but now you can edit it.
Like, I put quotes around it, everything. It doesn't matter. It still spells it wrong. It drives me nuts.
Yeah.
I wonder if they would still. I wonder if they would still spell delve wrong.
Delve into things. Like I've never said that word in my entire life. I did read that the other day, and in one of my, I was like sending an email, and I was like, "What is delve? Should it be that word? Does that even make sense?"
Yeah,
it took me to another level.
It's not derogatory anyway, so it's a good word.
Yeah,
most definitely. I'm going to have to jump off. So, Eric, do you want to finish this podcast? And
I mean, absolutely. I mean, we're actually getting kind of close to the time. We gotta we got to bounce. So Dave, I kind of like to ask before we go, if there was anything that we haven't hit on yet, or we haven't chatted about yet, that you were actually hoping that we could talk about before we say sayonara to this episode.
Well, I just like to encourage other business owners. Like, it's not as difficult as you may think it is. Like, a lot of business owners, you hear SEO or marketing, they just want to cover their eyes and ears and go running. It's really not as difficult as you think it is. Put some good content on your website. Make sure you separate all your services out. Don't put all your services on one page. Like, give Google some really good information about your business. And you are going to start showing up for searches. You are going to start getting people coming to your website because you're educating them with good content. So it's really not as difficult as you think. We do even have some free resources on our website, collaboratepros.com. And there's like a podcast button, and you can click on there and get all sorts of videos on how to do stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll be sure to link that in the show notes. And then for our listeners out there that may want to get a hold of you, is that the best way to do so? Just connect with you on your website?
Yep. Collaboratepros.com. Yep.
Awesome.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. And if you could actually leave us a review and share our podcast, we would love to have that. And Dave, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you and learning about you. Yeah. Everybody have a great day.
Nice hanging out, guys.
Yep. Thanks, Dave.
That wraps up another episode of The Trademark, where we bridge the worlds of the trades and marketing, one story at a time. We can't wait to see you next time. Thank you to the trades for giving back big, loving big, and taking massive action. Don't forget to join us next time for more engaging conversations and innovative ideas. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review and share it with your colleagues and friends in the trades and marketing. Your support means the world to us. Stay connected with us off the air by following us on social media. We'd love to hear your thoughts and get your feedback. Until next time, keep making your mark in the trades. Thank you for listening to The Trademark. Goodbye for now, and remember, we're with the trades for the trades.